Alright guys, my name is Tiffany Anthonias and I'm going to be giving you an information speech today. Alright. Imagine feeling the pain of not being able to physically carry a baby or even being denied the right to get one. I have never felt this pain, but my family members have told me their pain and sorrows about not being able to have kids or how adoption process would be too difficult for them to go through. This has made me passionate about how to inform you about this difficult process. Today, I will be informing you how difficult adoption is for different parents, how adopting can be for single women, same-sex couples, and adverse couples, which basically just means different sex couples. Each category has its own complications. Judgment is what single women deal with when they try to adopt. According to Martha Osborne in the article written in the Very Well Family website on March 6, 2020, I discovered that birth mothers are most likely to choose married couples instead of single women. They feel more comfortable with having two parents instead of one, and they say that single women should do international, which just means that they get kids from other countries instead of doing domestic. Domestic adoption is when you go through the birth mother instead of going from a different organization. People also assume single women just want to have babies so they can get the government assistance, because most women who try to get babies are unemployed. In fact, single women just want the same opportunity that any mother could have. They want the nurture, feeling, and love that they can have from a baby. They go through people judging them why single women want a baby. They get a bad rep as single mothers, and people just assume. The next point I'm going to be talking to y'all is when same-sex couples try to adopt, they get discriminated against. Believing what people say about gays adopting is giving a bad rep for their community for adoption. It makes it harder for them to adopt. These parents deal with people saying false assumptions about their kids, getting bullied for having same-sex couples. According to author Doran in an article written in magazine Physiology Today on February 1st in 2016, I read arguments given the right to have a mother and a father is taken away from kids who get the same-sex couples. They feel like it should be different sex, that it should be a mother and a father. All these assumption arguments make it difficult for the LPG community to have the rights for adoption overall. And then now the next section I'm going to be getting into is commonly the adverse gender couples, which is a mother and a father. I'm just using big words to make it better. They don't face as much harsh judgment as same-sex couples do and single women do. They deal with common problems that each category gets, financial problems. But they deal with them more because, especially if they're dealing with the birth mother's hospital bills, the pills she may need, if there's any complications with the babies, they deal with all these financial and medical bills altogether. According to Rocky M. in the article on Mommy Junction website on January 2nd in 2020, I had discovered emotional challenges are a big toll on both sides of the child and parents. If you have an open adoption with the birth mother, they can feel torn and abandoned if his real parents want to be in their lives. So an open adoption is when the birth mother and the birth parents have the right to see them and the adoption parents agree with it. So that can bring some emotional toll on everybody, especially the parents that adopted them. They can feel neglect from the kid and not the love that they wanted from their real child that they would be able to have. And they also have cultural problems, especially if you're doing an international adoption and you get a kid from out of your country. It's hard to adjust to their culture, and it's hard for the parents to do it back from the American culture. The adopted child might experience identity loss as he grows up. This change depending on the adopted family and child. Now that I have gone through my 3 main points, I hope you all got some information today about how adoption works for each category that I talked about. Every parent goes through some struggles and hardships to trying to adopt, no matter their gender or marital status. Yes, a bunch of kids get adopted every day, but the struggles and pains they go through the process is very difficult for everyone. And I just wanted to give you a little information on this subject. I hope you all enjoyed.